We have a 2011 Forester Turbo who came in to change his turbo because his stock turbo has the blades chipped already, so he managed to find a VF52, which is from what we believe is a WRX of the same vintage. And it is a bolt-on for this engine. Difference between his stock turbo and the VF52 is that the inlet is a little bit bigger, so it flows in more air. And despite it being a complete bolt-on, and yes, the car will run, it will work, but it's gonna be number one, too rich, and number two, tuning is all wrong because the stock computer doesn't know what to do with the extra air anymore. This already has a full exhaust from us. I believe there's a K&N drop in here, and then we're about to install a Unichip to be able to correct the air-fuel ratio. One of the primary reasons why we went with a Unichip is because it is a 10-year-old car. I don't think we'll be keeping it for the next 5 years even. So when he does sell the car off, we can remove the Unichip, we can remove the exhaust, take out everything, put everything back to stock, and then he can reuse the Unichip for his next car, whether it's gas or diesel. The wiring diagram for the Unichip, this is the pin-out sockets that we need for the Subaru, which we get from the Unichip website, which only us Unichip dealers have access to. And this is the plug side of the Unichip. A brief explanation of what these wires are. These first two is power and ground. This two is map sensor in and out. So this basically controls how much fuel we're gonna add. This next one is ignition timing. So plus minus, advance or retard ignition. This is the ground for the crank sensor, and this is for the throttle position, 0 to 5 volts, and this is another ground for the throttle position. So we need a reference signal. So basically the start when it says power and ground is 0 to 12 volts. The Unichip needs power to operate. These two are terminated for the mass airflow. This one we adjust the voltage to tell the computer that hey, there's more air, so add more fuel, or there's less air, add less fuel. It's all done through voltage. Same thing with the ignition timing here. There's a wire here from the ECU that goes in here that goes out there. So say this is say 2 volts, goes to the Unichip, gets modified, gets thrown out as 2.5 volts. This controls ignition timing. And then same thing with this one for the throttle position. We need to know what is RPM as far as the car is concerned. That's going to reference everything else. So we need to know what idle is, 3000 RPM is 6000 RPM. So it's only about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 wires. It's not exactly very hard to install. And then if you happen to be an electrical engineer or know somebody who knows how to read a wiring diagram, this should be pretty easy to install for you. So we're gonna go ahead and install the Unichip now on the car, which is the glove compartment behind the carpet, which is stark contrast to what we see in most cars now, which is located under the hood. Here's the Unichip. This is where it's installed. On Subarus, it's still kind of nice because the ECU is still here inside the car, as opposed to most cars, it's there in the engine bay. This is the ECU right here. And these are the wires that connect the Unichip to the wiring harness here. We don't touch this part. This part is completely stock. And it takes about 8 wires to connect the Unichip. So we have power, ground, then we have here, this should be air fuel, this should be ignition, and this should be throttle right there. So we can get an RPM signal. We opted with just the Unichip Q here because all he wanted was to get the turbo to run correctly and then obviously to be safe and maximized. So we did not opt for boost control anymore. We did not opt for throttle control. And we're going to be dynoing this car in a while to see how much power we make. We are keeping the boost stock. I think the stock boost, if I remember correctly, is about 15.5 psi on this vintage Forester, which we will see on the dyno later. Okay, we're done tuning this 2011 Forester Turbo, and this is what we got. This is the baseline when it came in. This actually has the turbo changed already to a VF52 because his old turbo has the blades chipped. So this is 155, which is pretty much what a stock Forester makes. And then after tuning, we got 220. For all intents and purposes, it's a 70 horsepower game. That's because primarily of the bigger turbo, and then with the big turbo, what happened was it was very, very rich. It's too rich actually. 10.9 AF, that's really too rich for this one. It's because the stock ECU is not calibrated for that size of the turbo. That's why we needed to install the Unichip to get the air-fuel ratio correctly, which is what we want on turbo cars is this range. 12 to about 13 AF ratio. So this is what turbo cars should make, as opposed to non-turbo cars where the AF ratio is going to be here. That's too lean if your car is turbocharged. And torque here is from 250 to 450. You'll definitely feel the kick on this one. Okay, we're going to take it out for a test drive and see what happens. Okay, that's unexpected. Kinda love that sudden kick when it hits full boost at around 3.5. Throttle response has definitely improved them a lot. I would actually do Unichip Q4 on this car because there's still some throttle delay from 1.5 to about 2,000 before boost kicks in, but overall you don't have to step on the pedal as much now with the added response. Not bad. But here, we'll try it out the boost again. That feels really nice. Boost is good. Okay. And just for reference, a stock Forester Turbo XT like this one makes around 155, 160 in stock trim, and then with the stock turbo and then you tune it, we normally see around 25, 30 horses gain, so sub 200 horsepower car. But since this one already has a graded turbo and then we tuned it, it's at 220. It's not very far already from what an STI does. Stock STIs make anywhere from 235 to 245 wheel horsepower. And considering that this still has the stock top mount and then stock air box, I'd say it's not bad. I still won't put the Forester STI badge, but it's pretty damn close. Especially since this car already has STI brakes all around. On second thought, yeah, let's put the pink STI badge on this one because this car certainly earned it.